Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are, wherever you happen to be. Welcome to another edition of the Living World of Darkness, Rage Across New York. The scene is set in the set of the green, but not necessarily on park grounds. And you go ahead and look at me and you question, oh, well, how is that be? How is that? Well, everybody knows, everybody who's been around here for quite a number of well, years at least, months at the most, knows that the Natural History Museum is often the seat of power for the Silverfangs. And while we haven't seen that particular set piece in a while, let's just go ahead and revisit it. We begin the scene after a very, very intense staring contest in which Maeve went ahead and did a very, very excellent sunglasses removal maneuver, forcing Lucas to go ahead and submit. Lucas coming back with the tickle attack being a non-issue simply because the contest had already been won. We begin with the two walking up the various stairs in the plateau just across the street from the Central Park. Took a bit of prodding and a bit of dragging by Lucas to convince her, no, 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 we can totally do this. And the two Fianna escorts, well, they didn't say it was not allowed, but this happens to be the territory of the Silverfangs, the very, very noble Silverfang. Once upon a time, Gerard and Morningkill, and once further upon a time, Arcady Morningkill, once used this place as their office space. And so we begin the scene. Drag.
Maeve's coming. She's just hesitant and probably regularly glancing over her shoulder to assure that her escorts don't flip a bitch, essentially.
Fair enough, my good man. Fair enough.
Once they're there, though, and have ascended whatever great stone steps might be outside the museum, she'll eventually start to relax. And never mind that the kin are lingering a bit closer so that they don't get out of sight or lost in the crowd. So, where are we going? What's here?
Well, there are a few different exhibits that I wanted to actually look at. I've been meaning to get back to this place and see how the new decorations went ahead and fell through. Goes ahead and points towards one of the pillars. That one looks particularly well.
She'll look at the pillar and then shoot him back a questioning glance.
Well,
That looks like part of the structure.
yes, it does. Before you, well, Lucas has already jumped on into the museum interior proper, and he's starting to look around. There are several different signs for different exhibits, actually. Goes ahead and points to a few of them, one of which being a, well, life adaptation exhibit for the most extreme cases of life on planet Earth. The other one happens to be, well, more theoretical, a dark universe exhibit detailing several pretty damn advanced physical and space theories. And the other one that just says, spiders alive.
She looks a bit interested at the first, perhaps slightly less interested at the second, and, well, when it comes to the third, if he veers that away, she's going to dig in her heels.
He veers in the direction of spiders alive.
Lucas.
What? Oh, who's there?
Someone just bumped into you. Bump.
Okay, hand goes into the back of his pants as he looks towards the direction of whoever bumped him.
It's Xavier.
Man of mystery. Lucas goes ahead and takes his hand out of his back pocket. Look to you. Watch where you... Wait. Wait, do I know you?
He just lifts his head up from a brochure that he was reading while he was walking. Oh, I'm really sorry. Lucas?
Oh, shoot. Oh, yeah. We met outside of Katori's place, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Cool. Awesome.
Blink, blink.
She goes ahead and gestures. This is Maeve.
Hey,
She'll wiggle her fingers.
you're the new girl. Hey.
Yep. All
Hi.
new and shiny and stuff. Maybe a little more literally than I'd like, but you know, it works out.
Well, hey, I'm Xavier.
Hi, Xavier.
So, am I interrupting something?
No. I just decided to take her along and see the sights and the exhibits. I'm not really that much of an academic man myself. Oh, that's a complete. Oh, so you know that's a complete and utter lie.
Should we roll?
If you would like.
Is it that blatant a lie?
It's not that blatant a lie, but OC, that is a complete and utter lie with 2,000 science and 2,000 academics.
I can't help myself, mostly because she's just interested enough in him to hopefully catch that light shift in tone or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
Do. Rolling dice, getting my bonus. Oh my god. Fuck my bonus.
One success.
Well, technically, is it 2 if you have your specialty?
Oh yeah, I'll take that one.
Woo!
Slight tonal shift that you have probably heard before that Lucas likes to use when he's trying to be jokeful.
She'll squinch her brow for about half a second, but let it go.
Xavier, you ever been to this place before? You know the exhibits? You got any few tidbits, advice for some stuff we need to go see?
Actually, yes. No, but leave you guys to your fun.
Oh, no. Take us on a tour.
Xavier actually just leans down to Lucas's ear, and he just whispers to him, aren't you guys on... Are you guys in sort of like on a date or something?
Kick your kick your freaking ankle before you even finish that sentence.
Ow!
Dude, don't be rude.
She abruptly looks inquisitive.
I'm asking you. Just okay, friend to friend, bro to bro, amigo to amigo. I'd appreciate whatever fantastic nonsense you'd be able to showcase to both of us. I'm actually genuinely interested in this place, especially
sure,
after
meanwhile.
the reconstruction efforts.
Okay.
I'm sure also that Xavier will recognize the the 2 kinfolk that have been not... They're trying not to be too blatant about following the pair around, but it's hard to not lose them in the crowd if they don't stay fairly close.
Well,
they probably lax a bit when Xavier joins them and are willing to fall back a little further.
he probably has seen them before.
He's probably well familiar with them. 2 big burly Irish dudes.
He just waves a hand to them.
And they most likely wave back, recognizing him well enough.
And he just turns back to them and, well, okay then. Which wing do you guys want to see?
Well, I was about to walk towards Spiders Alive, but this little one goes ahead and
I was
points
about
towards
to
Maeve.
walk anywhere but there.
Yeah, there you go.
Ooh, I can understand.
I respect house spiders as much as the next country girl, but that doesn't mean I want to see giant ones.
So, Austin, what other things are there to see? OOC.
OOC. I went ahead and counted off 3 different exhibits. The Extreme Life Adaptation exhibit, which showcases how extreme environments such as way, way deep under the water or way, way up high in the mountains, life has adapted. There's also the Deep Space one, which is all about theoretical physics and space. And hell, this is a natural history museum. I'm sure there are actual American history pieces out there, or maybe global historic pieces. Whatever you want to bring to the table, man.
They'll usually cycle out exhibits that are from various countries. Like they'll have an Egyptian exhibit come through, they'll have a Greek exhibit come through, they'll have a textile exhibit come through, but usually only have them for so long before the exhibit moves to another museum.
Bing, bing, bing.
Oh, you guys can just pick one, or
You pick it. You're going to be the one presenting.
Yeah. What he said.
well,
You're the tour guide. Pick something you know. No pressure.
how about this science thing? It looks like fun.
All right, then. He goes ahead and starts to turn his attention away from the creepy, crawly exhibits because, a few paces away, maybe about 10 or so meters away, there's a little bit of a curve towards that particular corridor, and peeking out from that curve is just a cardboard cutout of 3 very large and very hairy tarantula legs.
What, Rex?
A tarantula, spiders.
Oh, so we are being lured
We're
into...
turning away from that.
We are totally turning away
Away.
from that. Yeah, of course. Lucas is going to go ahead and turn away and start heading towards the more stellar exhibits, actually. Well, the stellar exhibit is actually on the 2nd floor of this particular building. He goes ahead and steps up a few steps. Goes ahead and turns around, actually, towards another one of the internal pillars, decorative, of course, and says, yeah, they went ahead and cleaned that one up, too. That's good. Hop, hop, hop.
Maeve follows along but continues to look puzzled at the idea that, load-bearing portions of the building might be new and shiny. That doesn't seem right.
Before they get to the dark room slash indoor theater, whatever have you, that actually has the exhibits and all the big fancy projections and projectors, they're going to go ahead and walk past a diorama of the solar system. And Lucas goes ahead and checks his watch, realizes that the next exhibit won't be for another few minutes, and goes ahead and stops and leans on the railing of the balcony, looks at the diorama, attempts to reach out and touch it, fails.
So what kind of diorama is it?
It is a diorama of the solar system with the sun in the middle, the 2 planets circling around it on little tiny tethers, Earth, and then the other external bodies.
So, how much of this stuff you guys know?
Lucas looks to Maeve.
Well, I had basic schooling.
Mercury, surface temperature about 1,000 degrees Celsius. Venus, likewise the same, but that is due to not the distance or proximity to the sun, but the natural greenhouse effect that is currently ongoing. Earth, within the habitable zone, has the right amount of atmosphere, amount of water, liquid form water. Molten core, much like the other inner planets. Mars probably has a molten core, probably heavy in iron, red dust, probably discolored, frozen ice caps. Not much liquid water at all, none liquid water, mostly frozen at the poles. Asteroid belt, the remains of several probably failed planets. Thank God for fucking Jupiter for keeping that ring upon us. If not for it, we'd be constantly bombarded by asteroids. On and on and on Lucas goes.
Well, Xavier looks both surprised and impressed.
So does Maeve, actually. I mean, she knows the basics, but remembering things like the temperatures? No, that's too much.
Looks at you inquisitively. What?
Yeah. It's a good thing you're not academic at all, because that would be weird.
Yeah. Stupid fucking grin.
You do that a lot.
I like to do it a lot. It's my way of expressing myself.
Well, you are very expressive.
That's alright. I didn't mean to go ahead and hog all the intelligible mumbo jumbo, but what do you guys want to know?
Well, I probably should roll for this. Let's see if Xavier knows. Nope. He has no questions for you.
Oh, come
None.
on. That might be a failure, but that's at least leads on to information you do not know and wish to know more about. Come on. He's like
He has
looking at you
nothing.
expectantly.
He's got nothing.
Nothing.
You're-
I have stumped the Silent Strider lore and knowledge monkey.
Yeah.
He's
That
gonna
you
go
did.
ahead and go ahead.
That you did.
Okay. Lucas is gonna go ahead and point to one of these smaller rocks, actually. Well, not rock, but small spheres at the end of this diorama. He has to actually walk over to it because it's on the other side of this platform room, circular platform room that we're currently standing on. Goes ahead and walks towards it. He points to it. Two tiny, tiny rocks at the end of the diorama. He simply says, well, this is Pluto, and this is Cerberus. Two protoplanets at the end of the solar system, more connected to the Oort cloud than to actual Sol. It's not as weird as the other planets. I mean, Saturn over there, I believe, is on a tilted orbit, which makes it really awkward. Or that's Neptune. I don't know. I always get those two confused.
Well, you lost me ages ago, so I'd say you're doing pretty good.
Okay, let's try to bring you back. Looks to the Silent Strider. What can you tell me about Cerberus?
Let's see what I can. Are you talking about the moon or the planet? Oh, I see.
I believe that Cerberus, well, it's a protoplanet, or it's a moon, or it's any different number of things if you're going by any number of academic textbooks.
Okay. So let's say. Well, he gets it this time. Thank God. He just stops for a second. Well, there's a bit discussion about it, you know. Um, some say that it is a protoplanet, some say that it is a satellite moon of Pluto. It's still being heavily discussed, to be honest.
I can understand that.
It is interesting. It completely is interesting. Did you know that its long dimension is about around 7.4 miles, which is, even for a protoplanet, very small.
So does
Goes
that
ahead and
even make it
nods.
to not a rock status? Pretty sure at that size, you're just a big rock.
It is a big rock. I mean, it is. Compared to the rocks in our planet, it is big. But compared to the other stuff in space, it's something like a little tiny dot Hadley.
Well, you consider Jupiter over there is the biggest thing in the freaking solar system, but there is not a solid piece of rock on that goddamn thing.
Oh, if we are talking about mass, I mean, there are some of the biggest things in the entire universe are not actually solid.
Depends on your definition of solid. I mean, look at the sun. We can't really say that it is made of solid mass. We can definitely say it's made of many, many different components and very, very small, very, very active chemical components. But can you really say that there's a bit of rock there?
Well, there might be
Looks
not.
at you. Please do not make me go into the convection zones of the sun and try to explain it.
I think if we go into that, our friend here is gonna leave us and do something fun.
She
Looks
looks
over
like
to Maeve.
she's listening, but she's certainly not assisting in this conversation at all.
This is what I get. This is what I get for picking up an astrology textbook. Ugh. Shakes his head. Um, it's about this time that the exhibit's about to open up again. There's a lot of people that are currently exiting, and not a lot of people, in fact, nobody, is coming in for the next exhibit towards the dark room. You're not sure if it's just simply because it's that time of day that their interest is very, very low, or the two Fianna jackasses bullying people away. Probably a mix of the two.
Most likely, but
Maeve will probably initially look puzzled or not even really think about it, but once they've headed for the door and she's realized that no one else is coming in, she'll glance back and then, for lack of anything else to do about it, just kind of wince. After all, there's no telling, especially if Lucas actually let on that this was Silverfang stomping grounds, that they'll very much appreciate that.
Would he? Yeah, he would have made the warning beforehand.
Then she'll pause at the doorway and glance at Lucas and be like, "Is that Are we gonna get in trouble?"
Looks around. The people that are here are supposed to be here. The people that are not don't need to be. They're being respectful.
Okay.
look. Checks around again. They're opening the exhibit up for you so that you personally can enjoy it to your fullest extent without being interrupted by the public.
She'll scrunch her nose a bit. It seems selfish.
It might be. They're just being very, very polite.
I guess.
You are indeed royalty. They only want to put their best foot forward.
Her eyes roll the second the word leaves his mouth. Just, very long suffering.
He looks at you, kind of frickin' stumbling over his words, but guess you know who else is royalty?
Nope.
Points over at Waziir.
Eh?
Apology?
Say again?
I've kind of heard the word apology.
I did not say apology. Lucas went ahead and said royalty.
Oh, royalty.
Mm-hmm.
And
he ousted
again,
you.
my internet is so bad that I keep missing words, so can you please repeat that?
Okay. Lucas has said to Maeve that, well, you are not the only one, and he points to Waziir.
He just gets startled for a second. This is the first time ever that somebody made somebody ever said about his heritage, but
If it's too much, I can go ahead and retro it.
no, it's good.
Okay.
He just looks startled for a second and goes, well, I don't think they would close it down for me. I mean, yeah, I might be royalty like you said, but it doesn't actually mean a lot.
You could have fooled me.
I'll tell you that and why it doesn't actually matter. A lot of political mumbo jumbo.
Yeah, but Heckle and Jekyll, they're following me everywhere. She'll point over at the toucan.
Well,
I mean, I call every pair of them Heckle and Jekyll. I don't actually remember their names. Which is very, very impolite of me.
well, the
But they
thing
keep
is,
switching out!
considering who you are, if we are to make a comparison, my level of royalty would probably will be pale against yours.
She just kind of slumps a bit, like the weight of the world. Just, And she'll probably linger though for a bit, and while Lucas is doodling, nudge him into the dark so that they can get out of the doorway. Because at this point, whether or not it's true, she feels like she's being stared at for the amount of attention that the guards are creating.
If you think these are bad, just pray to whatever god you believe that you will never ever get a butler. Ever.
I don't know. I feel like, I guess, if you had a butler, it would be just one person, though, and you'd know them, and they'd know you. And that seems better than having strangers follow you around all the time.
Let me
Even
tell you,
well-intended strangers.
let me tell you this much. Considering the guy that I had, he looked like very cute little kittens.
What?
Did I cut out again?
Just a little bit.
He said, well, considering the guy that I've had for a butler, these two guys over there would probably be little cute kittens.
That's a burly butler.
That's not always about size, you know.
That's an outrageously murderous butler? I don't know.
I was actually at one point really scared if he was actually a murderer. At any part of his life, you know.
Lucas is finally done with his particularly shitty drawing of Xavier Waziir, Man of Mystery. In front of the stellar model, because I can't say the other word. Goes ahead and rips the sheet of paper out of his sketchbook, goes ahead and hands it to Waziir, pats his back, pat, pat, souvenir. And he walks into the Dark Theater.
Well, thank you.
Maybe we'll scamper in behind him because, too much attention.
Alright. You get into the theater. There's a bit of a projection there, as well as several different models that flank you this way and that. It seems to be something of a state-of-the-art light show. Well, small, little different light show. Basically, there's a projector in the back. And in the back as well is the two Fianna escorts just sort of chillaxing in the back row. Meanwhile, Lucas has gone ahead and taken the frontmost row so he can have the best view.
Well, if what's on the brochure is anything to go by, this is going to be good.
Where do you guys sit?
Oh, is it one of those things that's going to be projected on just one wall, or the wall in the ceiling, or?
The wall and the ceiling. The theater chairs have reclined back a little bit.
She'll probably go a couple rows back just so that she can actually take in the whole thing. But she will totally scooch into the very center of the row, plop in the chair, and reel back just to see how far the seat goes. You might catch her giggling a bit at the fact that it falls back so far.
Waziir, Man of Mystery.
He probably... Let's say he just... So he sits down to somewhere that he can get a very, very nice view of the projection.
Alright. The theater goes dark. Boom, 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 boom. The narration begins to overplay. It's a very, very deep baritone voice of a famous actor. Yes, you are. You are really, really, really out of your comfort zone. Boom, 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 boom. It begins a little slideshow, light show, 3D effect of the planet Earth. It slowly zooms out. It slowly zooms out even more to the solar system. That slowly zooms out so that the Oort cloud is clearly in display, zooming out even more so that only the light of Sol is currently displayed. Several of the neighboring stars are now zoomed out. It's very, very nauseating and very, very abrupt and quick. And it has this magnificence to it. Just the idea of zooming outwards and outwards and outwards again. The scale of the scene before you continues to fly and fly and fly to the thousands, billions, trillions, whatever have you. Meters mean nothing here. Meters are a simple measured unit. It has no concept out here. As we continue to fly outwards and outwards towards one of the spiral arms of the Milky Way galaxy, far, far away again, we see the disk of the galaxy and the huge bulge in the middle of it. The narration goes ahead and plays on about the unbelievable amount of pressure and energy held within this spinning disk before you, about the black hole in the center, about unmeasurable units, unmeasurable gravities. And then even more outwards and outwards and outwards, it goes ahead and tries to explain something. A little bit maybe over your heads, both literally over your head and figuratively over your head. About the acceleration of the universe, about something that we cannot measure, something that we cannot know, something that is there only because we need it to be there. We assume that it is there, but we have no evidence of it. It is a darkness. It is matter that we cannot perceive. It is energy that we cannot measure. These things fit neatly into our little model of the universe, if only that it needs to be there. This is dark matter and dark energy that continues to accelerate our universe, that continues to see the spread of the universe, that fights against gravity, that would have us all crashing into a singularity again. But as the narration goes on and drones, it's all magnificent, but eventually they bring it to a point. All these different theories, all these different magnificent notions, they bring it back to a very simple man looking at a screen, reading input data from the Hubble telescope, and it goes ahead and details the people that have actually been researching this and have been thinking this. The scientists, theologians, philosophers, they are all scientists, and they have all gone ahead and had their hand in this wonderful discovery, or this frontier of science that we do not know quite yet. It's sometimes you feel like you're being pandered to. Sometimes you feel like they're not really explaining things as much as they ought to be. But overall, it's a fairly interesting experience. Do. And while that is playing, 1, 2, 3. Lucas has gone ahead and switched seats. It is now in the center row.
Assuredly, by the end of it, Maeve just looks a little shell-shocked almost by, like, she understands the basic whole, this is the order of the planets, and they go in circles around the sun. But all this advanced theory has blown her mind a wee bit, and she's been struggling so much to keep up and to listen and to understand that by time she looks aside or looks around at the end and realizes that Lucas has abruptly relocated, she will actually jump and squeak in surprise, not having expected to see him quite so close.
And Waziir?
Well, his attention is completely at the stuff. He doesn't actually really seem to be paying attention to any of you.
Fair enough. The lights will... Oh, that's interesting. You know I gave you the chance.
I did, but it was going to be way too pretentious.
No, we want pretentious. Okay, the lights are going to go ahead and be brought back up. The light show, the 3D effects, gone. You are left in a pretty damn empty theater with the two escorts, one being, well, stroking his chin, the other one actually quite dead, as in
Snoring.
knocked out, as in, yeah, snoring. It was that deep baritone voice. He just couldn't help himself.
Well, that at least lightens things up, because she will glance around and check to see what they're up to, and sure enough, one of them outright snoring gets her kind of snickering and doing her best to stifle her laughter, which makes kind of a stifled snorting. Giggle fit ensues.
Oh, Lucas is going to get up, start to travel down towards one of the aisles, go ahead and look to the both of you, and simply say, okay, spiders or spiders?
That's not nice.
What do you think is in the other exhibit? They both have spiders.
They do not both have spiders.
I guarantee you they both have spiders.
I bet you one has a lot less spiders.
$20. They both have spiders.
Well, I mean, it's adapted life. I'm sure there's adapted spiders, but I bet you there's a lot of other things in that one besides spiders. Come on.
Okay, fair enough. I'll just go ahead and warn you, there are a lot of eight-legged, creepy crawly things in the ocean.
Those are octopi. It's not the same.
And lobsters and
Those aren't
crabs.
creepy. They're just delicious.
You took the words right out of my mouth.
Well, you've never eaten a spider before, apparently.
Ugh.
And he's gonna go ahead and start to walk off towards the exit.
She'll follow. She has adopted her stubborn expression.
Oh yes.
Xavier does also follow.
In fact.
Why am I leading the pack? Oh, that's adorable.
Hmm?
Okay. Well, you get led through a few corridors, a doorway, and in front of you are different exhibits. Different animals are displayed. The most prominent one, the most that draws your attention the most, is this. Well, it's this little weird eel thing. This eel thing that has like. Well, you could say it's gills, you could say it's feathers, you could say that it's very, very thin membrane of whatever it is, but it looks like a snake with legs and pink, really hot pink frills.
I can't remember how to pronounce it, or I'd say it.
What?
The actual thingy. I can't remember how to say it.
I have no idea what the thing is.
The name of that animal, that doodad. Unless it's a lungfish, but it's like an AXO something. I can't remember how to pronounce it.
It looks weird.
I assume it's white and pink, right?
Yep.
She oohs and points. Because it's colorful and neat.
Lucas goes ahead and looks at it. I'm gonna roll. Because this seems like really outside of his expertise.
Oh, okay. I'll do it too.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and crank up the difficulty to 8. Because, like I said, this seems really awkward.
What is it?
I have no idea. It is
Oh,
some sort of lungfish that lives in the deep, dark oceans. It's a strange pigment.
It is here. I can't pronounce it, but this is what it's called.
Oh, one of those.
Mm-hmm.
They are cute.
It
They
is a
really are.
Mexican salamander.
It is.
You want to go ahead and share for the
So,
rest of the class, including the audience who cannot read the chat?
yeah, okay. That is something called the axolotl, which is also called Mexican salamander, which is also called the Mexican walking fish.
It looks strange.
It's cute.
They actually. Do you know the tiger salamander, Lucas?
Goes ahead and shakes his head.
It's it's the normal salamander that we know. You know, like the salamander we get in our head when we say salamander. And they are actually closely related to them, but the depths they live in, the places they live in, they just evolved a lot more differently. And they actually are a very few types of salamander that completely lives underwater.
Weird and interesting. He continues on.
After a pause for a second, she'll peer closer and actually sit there, not with a interested look so much as a very thoughtful look while staring at this salamander, like it's the salamander's fault that she's thinking things.
You notice that, like many of the other exhibits that you have visited today, it is empty except for y'all. The
She'll
public-
actually, at the moment, not catch on because she's in the zone, but she will definitely pause and stare and think and read through the little plaque alongside it, stating that it is critically endangered to the point of being potentially extinct in the wild. And start thinking some more. She's doing a lot of thinking. You're surprised there's not smoke coming out of her ears.
Seems like many things of many creatures of the Gaia are going out.
She'll finally perk up and look around again and kind of just look for the next exhibit. She has come to a resolution on whatever the hell she was thinking about.
Fair enough. The exhibit is actually rather plain. It's of single-celled organisms and leeches, and how the one lives in extreme temperatures of over 800 degrees Fahrenheit, and the other one lives inside of a whale's chest.
That one she'll poke her tongue out at. Blech.
Don't like parasites?
She'll pull a face. It's a leech.
It's a leech, yes. Shakes his head.
Well, I mean, have you ever watched the movies and the leeches and they're gross?
It's just movies, you know. They actually are very useful.
I know they use them in hospitals. Even like now they use them in hospitals, but still, they're really
They
gross.
use leeches and they use maggots. I mean, have you ever seen maggots go ahead and dig into necrotic tissue on your forearm? I have.
Evil blood-sucking slugs. They're gross.
Blink, blink. Are you describing half of the city?
Yes.
Thank
The lightening of her tone, it makes it really obvious that he startled her, but she's going with it.
Also, thank you for the mental image. Appreciate it.
I was trying not to think about that part. Why would you do that?
What? What did I do? Did I do
Gross and
something?
terrible.
What did
Why
I do?
would you do that
I'm not
to
responsible for
anyone?
the exhibits
She'll
on
whap
this-
his shoulder.
Ow!
It's the little girly puh. But it's just, why would you do that?
What did I do?
That is gross. Why would you try to make people visualize that?
But I wasn't visualizing nothing.
You are a bad person. That's terrible.
I'm sorry.
This is, of course, the qualifiers for bad person, is making her think of things that are gross.
Good to know.
She's obviously not actually angry, but she's fussing at him.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh. Ugh. Okay, what's next that isn't gross? Shuffle, shuffle, shuffle.
Next thing that is not gross. Well, there's a big exhibit about different marine animals from the Great Barrier Reef just off the coast of Australia.
Ooh. Yes, that she'll like.
Oh boy.
Even the little gross stuff. Because coral reefs are amazing.
Lucas, for his part, is just going to go ahead and watch, and read, look at different clownfish, the coral, all meticulously
The
read
anemones.
the sea anemones, the sponges, the sea rings, all that wonderful good
The brain coral.
The brain coral. Oh yes, the brain coral. He will look at the brain coral and just go ahead and start to mentally measure, and then walk over to the plastered exhibit and just put both his hands on opposite sides of the brain coral and hold it up to his head and simply say, "Mine is bigger."
I'm pretty sure they grow a lot bigger than even your whole body.
Mine is bigger.
Your ego's bigger.
Maybe.
While this conversation is going on, if any one of you look David, his face says this. Nope, nope, I'm not getting into this. Nope, nope.
Looks back over. What did it just... What's got you freaked out, buddy?
She'll catch on the teasing and immediately stick her attention towards him as well. Someone's awkward. Quick, look at them.
Mm-hmm.
Really? He just said that.
What? It's just one of these worlds. This very big worlds. All these fantastic creatures. Some of which you don't get to see at all. It's being presented to you. Why would you not want to, look at it, get really close to it, touch it?
No, it's good, but let's just not turn it into a measuring contest.
She loses it.
Okay.
I mean, he just pulls his head in on a whispering distance, just so, even if there is nobody else, he doesn't want this to be heard. Considering that our society is actually built on that, can we just be free of it in here?
Okay, I won't. He goes ahead and whispers again. Okay. You don't have to unzip your pants and take it out if you don't want to do it.
She's like biting her lip to not die laughing.
Xavier just looks at Lucas and goes, "Smart ass."
Enjoy yourself. Yeah. Sorry, just enjoy yourself. Learn to laugh. It's my job.
I actually am enjoying myself.
Ah, excellent. Then I'm doing my job.
Ooh, this is happening.
So, what's next?
What's next? Well, unless we want to go to the spider exhibit, nothing much left.
No, no creepy crawlies, we said?
All the creepy crawlies are in the spider exhibits. Everything over here is for the extreme environments. The most creepy crawly thing you're going to get is that amoeba over there.
It can be, depending.
Well, I mean, sort of leans in closer. This one doesn't know about, the dangers of the shadow, especially in the city. She's seen it, but she doesn't understand it.
Your shadow, you said.
Hmm.
What exactly do you mean?
I mean, the shadow of the world.
Yes, I know, but specifically, what do you mean?
Okay, do I... Fuck it. He's gonna go over to one of the information terminals and start to slide through a bunch of the upcoming exhibits. And one of the upcoming exhibits happens to be a lunar eclipse, actually, where it's going over the various phases of the eclipse. And he's just going to go ahead and go through them. And, pick and choose different key words, such as umbral and pin umbral shadow on the moon.
When Xavier sees it, typing those down and pulling stuff about Moon, he just turns to how do you pronounce that name again? God damn it,
Maeve?
Maeve. I keep forgetting it. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
He just turns to Maeve and says, "Like I said, smartass."
She blinks at him because she wasn't privy to this little thing he was doing. She's probably back over looking at the salamander again. So when he's like, "See, I told you, smartass," and she like glances up like, "What?"
We are all at our own worlds right now, aren't we?
Probably.
Blink, blink.
At least we do kind of make a good makeshift band of misfits.
Yep.
'Tis entirely the point, good sir.
So, what's going to happen is there's going to be a little buzzing right inside Xavier's pocket. Pulls his phone out. His face goes a bit like, turns to both Lucas and Maeve. Sorry guys, I have to run.
She'll
Pun
pout,
intended.
but not understanding.
Well, see you later then. Maybe that's something that can be taught later.
Yeah, feel free to find me at the park, guys. If you have any questions about anything or something, I don't know.
Totally.
So I'll see you around both. Take care.
Nod.
Bye.
And the awkward Egyptian dude just goes away.
Poof.
Uh, there's a little bit of a pause, a little bit of a walk between the next interesting thing in this particular museum and anything else, but he finds he finds a little bench and he goes
What?
ahead and sits on it.
Did I lose you?
You may have. Excuse me. Say again. Hello?
Oh, I must have bumped my headset. Sorry. I was like, why can't I hear anything? Okay, sorry.
Xavier has gone and unfortunately left the scene. Lucas, for his part, is now sitting on a bench between two of the exhibits in one of the greater corridors of the Natural History Museum. One of which that's like has a wonderful, wonderful view of Central Park.
Ooh. Just come and hunker down next to him and look around and go back to looking thoughtful.
Lucas produces two fruit cups, hands
Ooh.
one over.
Yee, fruit cups. She'll accept happily.
As well as a spork, of course.
Gotta have a spork. So she'll
What is-
set to opening that and kind of glance around and see how much of the foot traffic her escort is demolishing and doing away with.
Quite a lot of it, actually.
She looks, after a glance around to realize that no one can hear, she will look very proud of herself all of a sudden and turn and be like, that's how I'm going to make the lake happy.
How?
Those salamanders are critically endangered,
Mm-hmm.
but I know for a fact that they sell them as exotic pets.
Huh. You
And
think you'd have the right amount of resources to actually grab a few of them?
I bet if I don't, that Travis will get them for me.
I'm sure he will.
And I bet the conservatory, because it's in a greenhouse, can stay warm enough for them to have a pond.
For now and during this season, I suppose it will. See,
Well,
you're already trying to figure things out and make it better.
yeah, they need it a little, significantly warmer than it would be up here normally, but I bet in the greenhouse they'd be fine. And I bet the lake would be happy if I got several and let them feed and breed naturally in that pond.
You know what? I think you got a hang of things better than most people think you do.
I'm used to thinking in silly magical logic. What could make a lake or a water spirit happier than knowing that you're preserving something that it normally hosts? Especially when the only reason they're going out, according to that, was that one of the lakes was pretty much dried out because it flooded periodically, and that was inconvenient. And the only other lake that they bred in is filled with non-local fish, and only the other kind of salamanders, the tiger ones, can breed in there anymore.
Interesting. What happened to the lakes?
One of them was drained. The other one has a bunch of non-native fish and stuff in it, so they can't live in that habitat anymore.
Okay. And why is that? What happened?
People.
And what are people?
Pretty much parasites, depending on where they are and what they're doing.
Ouch.
What? It's true. There's farming, but there's also like what we did at the farm. We didn't change where things were, not in my generation, anyways. But I'm sure someone did at one point. But the island is what it is. We're working with what we have. Settling in a place with an understanding of how it is there and how the way that nature works together there, and being able to work with that as opposed to completely change it because it's not convenient. It's two different things.
Okay, fair enough. So it's more naturalistic. Your what I want to say,
My family's
agriculture.
farm.
There you go,
Well,
agriculture.
yeah, to a point. I mean, we only grow crops that can grow in this climate. We don't have a greenhouse. We don't have anything strangely exotic, and our livestock are cycled properly so that we don't wear out our growing, well, the acres we grow on.
Okay, so you learned a few good lessons of agriculture and work to at least maintain, if not preserve, the land you're given. Is that true?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, well, I believe that's a wonderful practice, and a practice that not much of humanity actually prescribes to.
It's like saying that you drain the Nile to keep it from flooding. The flooding is part of what makes Egypt work. It puts fertile soil on the land. It's the concept of draining a lake because it floods periodically just seems stupid.
Yeah, it would have been better for people to understand this. They think that, the flooding is good, and to work around the flooding, or at least try to observe only those places that needed to be preserved. But, oh no, that'd be entirely too inconvenient.
Well, either way, that's stupid, but I bet it will make the lake happy if I can get enough of them growing and living and eating actually what they're supposed to eat instead of food pellets. I don't know where I could release them because the lake's gone, but I'm sure I could do something.
Well, take it from me, in a society like ours, we have very, very long, global fingers. I'm sure that the children are at least working on several different reservations that would love to have that kind of reptilian life in them.
Well, good.
It's what the children do.
Well, I'm glad they do it. Instead of all of them. It's nice to know that there is a group of people who do that instead of everyone just thinking about war all the time.
What would be the point of war if there was nothing to come back to?
Well, you say that, but what's the point of fighting your own soldiers?
You're talking about division.
Yeah. I'm also
Eh?
talking about letting people die because they've grown weak instead of making them strong again.
You're talking about that tenet of the litany.
That too, yeah. Both of.
Well, that is the thing. A lot of different tribes have a lot of different interpretations of the litany. The children, for their part, don't necessarily prescribe to that particular tenet. They enjoy their elders, even those that don't fight anymore. They live for a very, very long time. And there is actually an entire subsection of the children that actively work against all sorts of diseases. In fact, you can go ahead and thank the children for the identification of the HIV virus as well as the AIDS disease. They were the ones actively working against it when it propped up.
She'll smile. She's still kind of looking around constantly to try to make sure that she doesn't again slip up and say use terms she's not supposed to or anything like that. She's already gotten in trouble twice now. Not large slips, but enough to be fussed at.
This is why we have your escorts and guards keeping people away.
Well, she can be grateful for that at least.
I don't know what you think about that.
I think it's... I like what your people do.
Mm-hmm. But
It's a necessary balance.
no. Go ahead.
It's that easy. If you have whole peoples who do nothing but fight, it only makes sense that you have whole peoples who do nothing but heal. It's like a community almost, except that everything's grouped by peoples instead of people just having different jobs.
Well, sometimes that's how it works, but well, the children are only one voice, one out of many, about 13 total in the whole. I probably go ahead and guesstimate again. It's only one voice. Makes sense to some people, not to all.
Well, I'm sure some of them make sense to some and not to others, so meh.
Talk to, well, I wouldn't say talk to one of the wolf tribes, but there is one particular wolf tribe that it takes a very, very hard line against, well, any kind of human development. I know of the people, capital P, that would go ahead and look at the dam that was built around that particular lake where all the salamanders used to live, or the actually, yeah, they would have to go ahead and dam up further stream. Okay, I'll take that. They would look at the dam further upstream, and they would not hesitate one bit to go ahead and break it down, no matter what happened afterwards. If the lake bed, if it was drained and built up again to have a small community in it, they would feel little, actually, absolutely no remorse for that little community to be demolished. Would it be worth it at that point if a little community had been built up in the lake bed that had been drained for this very, very violent rush of water to go ahead and sweep them out?
I don't think that kind of extreme is necessary, but if I had my way, it wouldn't have happened in the first place, as opposed to... And even if you were going to fix it, you could at least evacuate the people living there.
You could definitely evacuate the people there, and you would help safeguards a bunch of different lives, but that would still be a lot of property damage. People's lives and lifestyle and entire savings just gone in a flash.
I imagine it's one of those things where you'd have to make it a community effort to move people out, I guess. Or to coax people to move out or reward them for moving.
A
Or
great
perhaps
deal.
do something to reclaim the property or buy the property so that you could fill it without guilt. There have to be people in this nation that have the kind of money it would take to do that.
Yes, that is the long road. That requires a lot more effort, but
Well, it's
that is a
drained.
way to
It's
do it.
not getting any more drained in the meantime.
Some people are not patient enough to go for the long road, or just simply don't understand the long road.
I believe it.
I forget what I was going to say, but it was going to be very, very meaningful and impactful right in this particular moment. And I'm sorry, Maeve, that we must go on without that very, very prominent saying that comes from my lips.
You were probably going to say something smart-assed.
Probably. You have a good head on your shoulders. You got a head in the right place.
Well, I didn't. It just makes sense.
The problem is trying to make everybody else understand and buy into the same deal, into the same plan. Often enough, it's a much harder thing to actually make the deal and the plan fall through. There's also the different way, the other option. Let's say this little community wanted to coexist with these salamanders and wanted to live in the same valley slash lake. There is a way to do it. It just involves a little bit of education on their part to make them understand their impact in the valley and how they can live with a little bit of soggy terra firma. Well, of course, you would periodically flood, but you go ahead and teach them how to build their housing, their residence on stilts, so that when it did flood, it wouldn't wash them completely out.
Or teach them to farm like Aztecs in
Blink,
canals.
blink,
What?
blink. Oh, please! He looks at you and grins, both fists underneath his cheek, and looks at you. Explain that one to me.
I studied farming. I mean, that's a thing. And the peoples who used to live in Mesoamerica, I studied them a little bit. I really liked. I saw the pictures of the symbols and the Mayan calendar, and it was really neat. But yeah, they farmed by, instead of cutting canals into what they were farming, they would build up earthen mounds, long mounds, and would plant on those, and they'd be extremely fertile because of the mud, and well, really well watered, and they would get to and through them on like little canoes, and that's how they farmed, was by, instead of bringing the water in, bringing the earth out a bit.
Is that how they built their entire city on the water?
They did have one on the water. I didn't read very much into it. I don't have the points to know all that, but but the farming bit I could totally excuse. But yeah, they did have the one city on the water, I guess, but I don't know much about the city itself. I just remember looking in and thinking that it was really neat that they farmed by bringing the earth to the water instead of bringing the water to the earth.
I'll have to look that up sometimes. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. They just move their houses a little further away and put all the farming land in the middle. And I bet you the salamanders could live really well even in shallow water, as long as the bugs and fish and minnows and stuff that they need to eat is there.
See, we have absolutely averted complete another tragedy, both ecological and sociological, economic as well, simply by thinking things through just a tiny little bit and learning from the past.
Well, in our imaginary world, it works really nicely, I'm sure. Now, if only it could be a real thing.
Oh, that's much harder.
Yeah. You know, you said I have to convince them that it makes sense, but I'm pretty sure at this point, if I put on a shiny tiara and I'm like, hey, this is a thing, guys, they might actually do it.
They would, for you.
That's ridiculous. That shouldn't be how things work.
Sorry. If you have the right blood and if you look the right way, people do what you say. That's how it works.
I mean, I guess it's convenient if you really need a thing to happen, but I'd really hate to think of someone who didn't think things through being able to do the same thing. Get like Crusades level mistakes.
Well, well, I did study the Crusades quite recently. If you want to go ahead and go for the mistakes of the Crusade,
Well, I just mean something like that where it's wars and wars and wars, where you're just telling people, yeah, God says it's a good idea, let's do it, as opposed to actually having a good, legitimate reason to do something like that, as opposed to just wanting to steal land and valuables and, yeah, plunder and whatnot.
God wills it.
Ugh.
Very, very
Thankfully,
famous
Gaia doesn't will
Crusades.
things like that.
No, he doesn't. But you look over the history of the Crusades, they were absolute, complete, and utter failures and travesties and atrocities.
Yep.
Nobody wants to talk about the peasant crusade, and how it never really even made it to the Holy Land,
Hmm.
or how it went ahead and burned down two Christendoms.
Wow. Well, I
Oh
didn't know
yeah.
about that.
Oh, well,
I've got the grade school version, okay?
oh, let me go ahead and enlighten you. One of our wonderful things, the peasant crusade, not often talked about, but it was the very, very first quote-unquote army that made it out of Europe. Headed by a monk who very, very quickly lost control of the entire damn thing. Lost control of the entire goddamn thing. Proceeded to move his people from small force through Christendom towards Turkey, Ukraine, Constantinople, and what they forgot to do was they actually forgot to stock up on anything. They just picked up their stuff and started walking without really paying attention to things like, oh, I don't know, food, grain, corn, the seasons. By the time they got to Constantinople, they had absolutely nothing to their name, no food whatsoever. They were an army dragging along women and children because, hell, they want to bring their family to the Holy Land as well. But Constantinople, the governor, refused them. Abjectly refused them because they were just a horde of freaking migrants. I don't know whose fault it is. I don't know if the governor was wise or foolish or just didn't have enough mercy in his heart to let the peasant army in, because they were peasants. They were not armies. They were not soldiers at all. This decided to bar them entry. And you know what the peasants did? That entire army went ahead, walked over to the next city, burned it to the ground, took everything they could, and continued on with the rest of their adventure. They did this twice in Christendom. Nowhere near the Muslims or the Islamics. Yeah. That was,
Yep, sounds right.
yep. The first crusade, they say, was a successful crusade. And that's only because of the 5 other nobles that came on through and eventually took Jerusalem for all of about 10 weeks. Yeah. When you say crusade level mistakes, you have no idea.
I just apparently made a better example than I thought I did.
Mm-hmm. Yes, you did. Pinches your cheek.
She'll snare.
I think that's enough of the history lesson.
Yeah, probably. We should go back so that I can say things plainly without being worried that I'm going to make someone mad.
I don't think you're going to make anybody mad here. I mean, looks over to one of the escorts that is starting to bully over a very, very crunched over old lady towards the other end of the hall. Just sort of pushing him back. He's like, no, 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 reservations.
She'll look a little bit scandalized. Yeah, we should probably go back.
Lead the way.
she'll hop up. Start heading that way.
Alright, Lucas goes ahead and follows closely behind.
Back into the more familiar areas of the Sept. The ones where she knows that it's completely inhabited by Garu.
Mm-hmm.
And after that little bit of a trek, sorry, easily distracted. After that bit of a trek, she'll
distracted.
very easily. She will head back and very possibly back towards the lake, actually.
Fair enough.
Go hunker around by the benches.
The day does go on long.
Hmm?
Goes ahead and shakes his head. Sorry. Just, it's getting to be a little bit, later in the evening. I don't know where my energy went.
Oh. Well, when's the last time you ate?
Checks his watch.
At the risk of sounding like you.
I had biscuits and gravy at about 10 o'clock this morning. It's about, I don't know, 8 hours away.
Yeah. Not a big deal, though.
No, totally. Not a big deal.
She'll affect a brief pout. No stubborn look.
Looks at you, simply says, "What do you want from me?"
I want you to go eat. It's probably why you're tired.
I can definitely go eat.
And actually, if you go eat, I can go hunt out Emmett. Because if he's the computer guy, I bet he knows how to order everything.
It's called fooddirect.com. You can give anonymous, what?
What?
It's called fooddirect.com.
Not food. The salamanders. I'm kind of one-track minded right now.
Facepalm. Yeah, I'm thinking about food. You're thinking about salamanders.
Yeah, so go eat, and I'll bother Emmett, and that way you don't have to go hang out with other people that you don't like hanging out with, and I can still talk to them for a minute.
I got no problems with Emmett. At least not a lot of them.
Well, do you want to come along and then go get food?
Sure. I'm up for that.
Okay, well, then I guess let's, out of game, see if Emmett wants to just pop in and make life easy. Or we can split it into another thingy thing.
I think we should split it.
I think you're probably right.
Alright then.
Alright, so...
Oh, please, give us an outro.
Huh? I was gonna say, to Emmett! No, oh no. No, you crazy.
Oh, you're gonna have to learn how to do these things.
Never. I'm a rebel.
You will!
But I don't wanna. It's weird. I don't wanna.
We go ahead and end our scene here. Xavier, Man of Mystery, being his Man of Mystery self, disappeared into the ether. Lucas himself, very, very begrudgingly trying to work out some sort of sustenance. The fruit grub did nothing for him. And our wonderful Maeve going ahead and thinking and planning and devising excellent, wonderful projects for the Sep's future. So, we will see you all again, but until then, we hope to wish you all a best day. That sentence is more awkward than I made it to be. Bye!